The Brutalist opens with a shot where you look up and see the Statue of Liberty enter frame upside down from the top of the frame, which essentially signals for you right away what you're going to be watching in this movie, which is the American dream flipped upside down. This is a epic in every sense of the word. It is a 3-hour and 20-minute movie with a 15-minute intermission, so the total runtime is 3 hours and 35 minutes, and it's gotten comparisons to The Godfather and Citizen Kane, which is just you can't live up to that, right? There's no way you can live up to that kind of expectations. I thought it'd be fun to do something a little bit different with this review, so I'm still going to give a typical review, but then I'm going to get into some categories similar to if you've ever watched the rewatchables, or listened to the rewatchables, I should say, how they give out categories. I thought that could be kind of a fun idea for just a regular review, so I'll give my general thoughts, and then I'll get into the categories, which are going to be the winner of the movie, loser of the movie, best moment, worst moment, grades for acting, writing, directing, something called the golden stamp of approval, which is going to be my, the things that I thought were absolutely exceptional. Not every movie will have some, but some of them will. This one will have a couple, actually. Should you watch it? When will I watch it next? My rating, and then I'll get into spoilers at the end of this video. So be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned. But yeah, first, my general thoughts on this film. I really enjoyed this movie. This pace is it is a slower paced movie. I kind of liked that aspect of it, though. It almost had a book-like pace in the way it really just slowly unfolded, but it never felt like it was a slog to get through, I would say. Like, there was constantly things happening. We were seeing this character, played by Adrian Brody, masterfully grow. I'll read the plot summary off of IMDb. It's when a visionary architect and his wife flee post-war Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy and witness the birth of modern United States, their lives are changed forever by a mysterious, wealthy client. That wealthy client is played by Guy Pearce, very interestingly so, I would say. And it's essentially, it's kind of hard to watch this movie and not also view it as an allegory for making movies in general. If you want to make a movie, a lot of times you have to get a wealthy client to agree to let you make the movie, and you might just purely care about the art of it and what that means. But if you want to make it, you have to make sure you're pleasing the wealthy client, the Guy Pearce in this case. You better do whatever he asks you, and you better not piss him off. And in doing that, you also see how Adrian Brody's character starts to change because of that, and how he even treats the people below him and kind of becomes his own, nightmare boss in a sense. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that definitely this is in large part sort of a reaction to the myth of the idea that America fully liberated the Jews after World War II. And it's kind of really it's a more honest depiction of what it actually was like to be an immigrant coming into the country at that time, and even the ones that were successful, what they had to go through. People could get a lot more into it that know a lot more about this stuff than I do, but that's definitely what this film is about. But that's what the film is about. It's also just a really entertaining movie to watch. I'll take a second here to just plug my Letterboxd, if that seems like your kind of thing. If you're on Letterboxd, my Letterboxd is Jackson Kruger, so you can find me on there if you're interested. But yeah, this movie kind of rules. There's a lot of, just for one thing, it's one of the most beautiful movies you'll see ever. Like, it's incredible. Make sure you go see it on the big screen. There was even some, it was playing in some Dolby theaters and some IMAX theaters. I didn't have a chance to go see it there because I wanted to see a showing with subtitles because I'm hard of hearing and there's accents, so I wanted to make sure I could get a subtitled showing. But yeah, but it's a beautiful movie. It really is breathtaking. Again, if you're someone who keeps up with movie stuff and Oscar buzz and all that stuff, this is a movie that, like I said, is getting these incredible comparisons. The couple movies I would compare it to would be There Would Be Blood. Even though I'm not a huge Paul Thomas Anderson fan for whatever reason, I really enjoyed this movie though, which is not Paul Thomas Anderson, but I really enjoyed, even though it's stylistically similar, for whatever reason, this one just worked for me a lot more. And then if there's the Andrei Tarkovsky movie, Andrei Rublev, which is another one that you could definitely see a lot of stylistic similarities, even how they end, which I wonder how much you saw this movie being inspired by that one. So let's get into the categories, why don't we? I made this whole new thing, so let's see how this works. If it's boring and sucks, then I won't do it again. But yeah, let's try it. So winner of the movie, honestly, there's a lot you could go with here. Again, it's kind of a stupid thing to even make a category, but it's also a fun one because obviously, like, I mean, kind of goes without saying, movies are a collaborative medium. No one person can actually win the movie, but if there is a winner of the movie, Brady Corbet is definitely someone you could consider for this. I mean, he was one of the writers and the director of it and did such a good job, but I think I have to go with Adrien Brody, who has won an Oscar for The Pianist, now trying to win one for The Brutalist, so he's found his niche, certainly, both around the same time period as well, which is kind of funny enough. He fits that role. He was brilliant in this movie. He would be my pick for winner of the movie. For loser, it's tough because I created these categories. Now I think I'm going to have to pass on one of them because I don't really think there was a weak spot of this. I know there's some people who maybe would disagree. Again, films are subjective, but to me, I thought every part of this worked for me. I have no loser here, even though I created the categories. But in theory, I mean, the idea is if I do this for other movies, then there will be losers of those movies. So, and I might even do that again. I think well, we can get into it. The best moment award is going to go to. There's a lot of great stuff here. I legitimately think it's the opening. I called it the opening shot earlier. It's not actually the opening shot. There's a shot before it, but the early on shot where you see Adrien Brody kind of walking. You're not exactly sure what he's walking through and what's going on, and then it's revealed that you can see the Statue of Liberty and you see it enter frame upside down, and it's just, to me, the music's playing, which is just so well done. To me, like that is the best part of the movie. That right away, early on. There's other spots that I would say get close to that, but nothing hits as hard as right off the bat that opening shot, in my opinion. Again, not opening shot, but you get the idea. Again, worst moment, this is the movie I really like, so I'm going to have to skip this category as well. Hey, I'm going to do that every now and then, but hopefully I'll keep these categories going for later, and and then I'll make a worst moment there. If you had a worst moment, tell me what you thought it would be in this one. Grades for acting, directing, and writing. So I'm going to go A through F here. It's, again, if you can't tell, I really enjoyed this movie. It's going to be hard for me to not give out a lot of very high grades. First, to acting, I'm going to give out an A here. I don't think I'm going to do plus or minus. Let's just do A through F. I'm going to give out an A for acting just because I thought that really the amount of long takes that this movie had, where it would just sit on the two actors. Everyone always gives credit to the director when that happens, but like, it's hard to act for that long, especially sometimes how emotional some of these scenes would be. There's a specific scene with Felicity Jones and Adrien Brody in bed, which I won't spoil, but like, it's just on them for 4 minutes, and they're going through a lot emotionally in that scene. Really impressive stuff. The directing is also something I'm going to give an A to here, with how beautiful this movie looks, and despite the long takes, it never felt boring, which usually means you have to kind of pace the scenes in real time, right? Because if you have a traditional over the shoulder type of scene, reverse shot, that's the term I was looking for. If you have just something like that, well, then you can just, in the editing room, pace it the way you want to. If it's in a long take, you kind of have to just sit there. I thought I did a really good job there. Writing, I'll go a strong B here for writing, but the writing was still really good. I mean, I can't go A's across the board, right? But I still really enjoyed the way this was written. And like I said, even though it maybe had a slower pace, I never felt bored. I never felt like it wasn't going somewhere, which I really enjoyed. So now let's get to Golden Stamp of Approval. A category that I think sometimes it will be a pass, sometimes there will maybe be one. I have 5 Golden Stamp of Approvals to get over. So first, Brady Corbet, who I have to talk about, the director of this. I'm going to give it to him for his directing. As I mentioned, it's an A. It's very good. Adrien Brody, I think, also deserves the Golden Stamp of Approval. The way I view this is almost like sort of similar to like an Oscar nomination, maybe even an Oscar win type of, approval by me. Felicity Jones, another really strong performance. Kind of talked about her in the bedroom scene and what she was able to do. 2 more Golden Stamp of Approvals. The cinematography by Lowell Crawley. I guess his name's LOL. Huh, that's fun. But cinematography, like I said, this was just such a gorgeous looking movie. One of the most beautiful movies I've seen. And, I made a video a little bit back talking about Hitman and how I really enjoyed that movie, Hitman. I didn't love the look of it and how it had that sort of Netflix look to it. To me, this film, The Brutalist, is a perfect example of how you can make something look beautiful. I almost said beautiful, while still making it look like a real place that you can go to and you can walk into. Part of that is how it was shot on a 70mm film, which is cool. Just a gorgeous looking movie. And finally, my fifth golden stamp of approval is the score, which is instantly one of my favorite scores. I actually listened to the trailer this morning. That I wanted to hear it again, just because it's really cool. It really is. I don't know. I really liked it. That's Daniel Bloomberg who made that. So yeah, it was awesome. Lot of great stuff here. 4 categories left. There's the should you watch it, when will I watch it next, my rating, and then spoilers. Should you watch it? I mean, what do you think? If you made it this far and you hear all the good stuff, yes, I think you should. And I think you should for several reasons. Okay, let's say this. If you're not a fan of slower movies, this could be one. I would say has a chance of still being one you enjoy. Like, if you liked There Will Be Blood, I think, again, you can't go into it with those kind of expectations, just because you can't go into any movie with those kind of expectations, because I know there's people who consider that one of their favorite movies. But like, if you're someone who likes those kind of movies and can deal with that kind of pacing, you'll probably enjoy this one, because it's not like the slowest paced movie I've ever seen or anything like that. Just, it's a bit on the slower side. You should know that going in. But yeah, you should watch it because A, there's a lot of people like me that really love this movie, and B, it's probably going to be a big player at come awards time. And if you like paying attention to that stuff, then you're going to have to watch it to understand what's going on there. When will I watch it next? I thought this could be a fun category to throw in there. I could see myself watching this again pretty soon, actually. I think I probably won't watch it again in theaters. I think if there was another showing in like one of those like Dolby or IMAX showings near me, I think I might swing by and check it out again just to get that visual experience. But if not, then I could see myself buying this on like 4K Blu-ray at some point and throwing it on like, later on this year or something like this. I really liked it. My rating is a 10 out of 10. Very good movie. Definitely check it out. Might be my favorite movie of the year. I'm going to watch Nickel Boys later this week, and then I'll finally give my my best movies of the year list, because I wanted to check out The Brutalist and Nickel Boys before I made that video. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. Do I need to get into spoilers here? Let me think. I suppose I could. Let's get into spoilers. So, spoiler warning, 3, 2, 1. If you have not seen it and do not want to be spoiled, now is your time to check out. So, yeah, okay, spoiler warning. So one thing I have heard some people complain about is that they thought it kind of dropped off in the second half. And I think that part of it is you're enjoying seeing kind of the process of him going from rags to riches, essentially, from not having much to kind of building his way up and getting bigger and bigger until you kind of see him fall apart. And it maybe isn't the most satisfying downfall that you're used to, right? This is not The Godfather 2 in the kind of the way that he falls as a character. It does do it in a different way, but again, you have to remember what you're watching here, which is the American dream flipped on its head. And whether you're an immigrant or just a regular person born and raised in America, there are always kind of those things you have to deal with. And you can't help but make this comparison with the film industry, especially with Adrien Brody's character getting sexually assaulted and then essentially not wanting to tell anyone about it because of the fact that if he tells someone, then he won't be able to build his building anymore. And it's that fear and feeling like he has to do whatever the person above him says, and sometimes it's someone else that's actually the one who can finally call out the evil boss, so to speak, the Harvey Weinstein, so to speak. But this film isn't, I would say, purely bleak. It does, at the end of the film, kind of show, hey, this building did get created. It did get built, just like many buildings at that time were built and created. And the people who get the credit are usually the ones who did the hard work that built it. And also, the things that remain are from the hard work of the people who built it. Their legacies do remain and are still standing. A lot of structures in New York are still standing. Or in this case, Philadelphia. That's, I think, part of the message of this film as well. Is at least that's how I interpreted it. Messages can be, so it's always, two people can watch the same movie and get different things out of it. But that's kind of my view on it. I also saw some people like on Letterboxd criticizing the film for, I guess two things. One, for maybe not getting deep enough into World War II and communism, where he was certainly fleeing from. And then the other one was, kind of touches on Zionism a little bit, but doesn't get too far into that either. I think people would have liked to, if you're going to touch on those things, maybe dive further into those things. And while the movie certainly could have dived deeper into those topics, I don't think that it necessarily is a bad thing that it didn't. I would say. I think that sometimes that's maybe. I wonder if you're getting people out there are getting annoyed at what this movie isn't, as opposed to what this movie is. In my opinion, personally. While there were multiple characters who decided to, go to Israel, to me that wasn't necessarily a complete endorsement of Zionism as much as it was simply just saying that, yeah, it kind of makes sense for these characters that they would find that an attractive option. That's all I viewed it as personally. So, again, people can have different interpretations of the movie. That's how I saw it. The only other, criticisms I can see are, people saying, I didn't love the pacing, which, again, not going to be for everybody, but yeah. And then I think people saying, hey, this isn't The Godfather, which, that was kind of maybe a bit of a high bar to clear, but, I thought it was a really, really great movie, and also one of the best trailers of all time. Got to say that as well. Incredible trailer. Go watch the trailer if you haven't already. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.